The best anime of 2024, man, they really want me to break my rules and say it's also going to be the best anime of 2025. I Anytime it's a sequel or a carryover, I never like to I always like to say it's its own thing, right? Because if you just always consider sequels or carryovers in the same competition of new anime or new movies just starting, it's you're always going to pick your favorites, right? But with the way this 25-year later time skip just went, might have to break my rules and say it's gonna be 2 years in the running. Bro. The issue with the 25-year time skip is characters are gonna look a lot different, so I'm a little hesitant to say for sure I know what's going on, but I'm like 90% sure the old man at the very end of this episode is Noak. I don't know though, it does look off, but 25 years is 25 years, so it could be that. The leader is gonna, see, when they were talking about the leader of like the organization, I'm like, okay, it's either gonna be Yolenta, the priest, I'm drawing a blank on his name, or Noak. He was least likely in my mind, so it was either gonna be the priest or Yolenta. I'm still not sure. She would make a lot of sense because I'm still convinced she's going to be the one who published like the full thing when it's all said and done. But at the same time, the last episode was our boy discovering the heads. I mean, it would make sense if he was the start of a revolution. Either way, Schmidt, one hell of a character to say the least, and an insanely twisted view of God. But I guess when your uncle and your parents had a very conflicting view of religion, it makes sense. I'm pretty sure. This is another thing. The kid does look like Schmidt, but also it's different, but it's 25 years later. I don't know, but I'm under the assumption that was Schmidt. Jesus, man. This show has yet to have under a 10 out of 10 episode, and you can fight me on that. Of course, if you want to see my full thoughts on these episodes and support my work, I do have a Patreon where you got those full live reactions over there exclusively. The craziest thing, too, is I didn't even hit play and it says 25 years later. I'm thinking to myself, what the I need another coffee to get through. I was like, you can't do that to me, man. Like, I have it in me for one last time. You can kill one more character, whether that's a character who I've already liked, or you make me introduced to a new character and get me connected. I can deal with one more big death. So if you want to kill Noak, get that out of the way. You want to kill Yuenta? Sure. If you want to kill frickin' Schmidt, go ahead, but one more. That is what I'm allowing. After that, I'm going to turn to the goddamn Joker. I can't keep doing this. It's been like, what, 35 years, I think, since the show started? Because I think there was a 10-year time skip post Raffles' death, if I'm not mistaken. So this should be, what, 35 years since it's all started? And I doubt it's the last time skip either. If they do go the route, which is what I'm thinking, because we're at a point where it's almost like Assassin's Creed in a way, where it's like Assassins versus Templars, man. Like the Templars in this case are just kind of like the church at trying to keep the current, world order, and the Assassins in the background, it kind of got little shadow organizations who are putting up a fight. We went from basically having one or two characters trying to combat the way of the world, and having the church and the law just burn them at the stake if they try too much, to now having syndicate organizations that are pushing back. Literally, no one can tell me with a straight face they thought, oh yes, based on the track record of this show, someone being interrogated by one of these inquisitors 100% is gonna live. Pulls off the bag and he's armored up. Like, holy shit, talk about big dick energy. They did release a poster for the new core, and I didn't really take too much of a glance, but like my initial quick glance was like, oh, okay, we did have 3 characters we left last week between the priest, Noak, as well as Yolenta. New character front and center. I have no idea what they're truly going in terms of who our main focus will be. But if they do go the route of either Yolenta or this priest being the leader of the group, that would then, so let's say Yolenta's the leader, right? What happened to our priest? He's probably still involved. Like, he's clearly translated and grabbed all the information from the heads and then passed it along. So I guess he would just be like one of the main operators. And then if we go the route of it's not her as the leader but him, she's somewhere off going to be relevant eventually. Like, she's even in the opening, but she seems more subtle. Either one of those directions will be interesting. The biggest one, and I think the most interesting, will probably be Noak, because the opening almost makes it look like he takes someone under his wing. So if that's the case, is this like a second kid? Like, obviously probably not biological, but something like that. And, they're saying that, hey, this is the only person we need for information. Would they commit to killing him off here? Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of different factors at play, but for doing a 25-year time skip, it works. Slightly concerned when I read that at first. I was like, oh man, 25 years, we're not gonna have any of the same characters. Like, it's like everyone's just, I don't know, man. Like, it's not like they have the greatest healthcare in the world at this time. Like, I know they're gonna be the spitting image of health once they get to 50 years old at anything. But no, this is interesting. I will admit though, most of watching that, because the transition they do from the child's flashback to then Schmidt walking with the other two, you would say that's a transition that's indicating that Schmidt is the kid. But I'm thinking mostly in the episode when watching, like, no, like, that wouldn't make sense. His parents were killed by someone who gave up on God. There's no way this... But then when you think of it, it actually makes sense. It's like not even like necessarily saying God doesn't exist, but like people don't understand. It's like that's such an and it would make sense between uncle and father and how that would probably warp and shape your worldview of religion. I don't know. But I think my favorite part of the flashback prior to the uncle being a psychopath, his initial comments about why they are giving up mostly on God makes a lot of sense, and most people would eventually rise up against it because, you know, the idea of honorably poor, it's like, why would you, like, it's like when someone tries to tell someone who's not super religious that, like, when a family member is dying, that it's God's plan. You can't, no, like, you can't say that. Like, imagine living your full life, in this case, being poor, and all these rich church bastards are being like, yep, it's all part of God's plan. Give us your money, you suffer, but trust me, you're doing the honorable thing. Screw the honorable thing. Go to hell if it means for your next 10 years of your life you don't have to be a goddamn bum on the side of the street. It makes sense. Unfortunately, they went to such a degree that because the brother didn't agree, we then killed him in front of his family and broke the mom's face. Like, what the that is disgusting. Both sides were just screwed in that moment, and Schmidt's, he's got aura, but he's a crazy bastard to say the least. But this was fan-freaking-tastic. Brilliant. Seriously, to accurately predict the show, it seems like impossible, because if you would have told me 25-year time skip, I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure. But what they're implying, I never expected, like, little mini organization, but it makes sense. The church is slowly losing their grasp on people because now it's more and more getting into the public in ways that they can't stop. But Denny, man, his final hurrah, his final kamikaze is working out brilliant, all thanks to our bro Ochi. Let me know your thoughts and definitely theories if you got any down below, because this shit is getting crazy. Your thoughts, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll just give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Paul LS, Nicholas Geischer, Eric Cheeks Robinson, Guy Palace, Sharable Cockris, and we also have Brian Mifsud. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You'll have a good one.